Greetings and salutations! So this is a weird place, I guess, but there's a good reason for this, and it actually makes sense in a moment when we climb out of here. So this is one of the many containers that are here on our port. So I wanted a bed nearby because I'm building a lot here, and I had to fly back and forth, which, yeah, well, just wasted me a lot of time. So I figured if I had a bed here at the port, it would be slightly easier. So for now, I have my own little secret room inside this container here. So since the last video, not much have happened yet. I added basically this, I guess it's a double container with a new design on this one. But I just realized a short while ago that on the Minecraft Reddit group, r/Minecraft, they are currently having a competition for making a port, which fits greatly as this is exactly what we're doing right now. So there are a few requirements for that competition. One is that there needs to be at least one ship docked at the port, and there also need to be a few buildings or something on the port. And one could argue that the containers will count as buildings, but I don't think that's enough, so I will need to make at least a crane or two. Basically, I want to make as much as humanly possible within the next 3 days, and then I'll try to submit it on Reddit. So, anyways, I just wanted to introduce you to that. So the first thing that I'm going to do now, although I was planning to actually build a crane first, now knowing what the competition rules are, I think I should clear out the biggest obstacle first. So I think I'll start building a cargo ship here. I have no plans on how I want it to look yet or how it should be. And I'll probably do a bit of research before starting. But yeah, let's see where it goes. I guess I'll pop in a time lapse and then we'll see what I come up with. So I'm just popping in from the somewhat future meaning that a day or two has passed since since we started this video, and I messed a bit up with the time lapses. So actually, one of the time lapses got corrupted. Actually, two of them. I think I had the game running for too long while just recording, and I kind of also forgot a bit to record because I just got so caught up in all this. So, whatever time lapse you just saw, it may have been a bit fragmented. I'm sorry about that. But before we jump outside and have a look at what I've built so far, I have another time lapse that is probably also a tiny bit fragmented that I'd like you to see, and then we'll pop out. Okay, so I've been a bit busy. Look at that guy there. We'll have a closer look in a moment, but let's first have a look at this ship here. So I did a lot of back and forth with this baby here. Both on the shape and how deep I put it into the water. And honestly, I would like to have it have had it a bit higher up in the water. Although I think this looks pretty good. You're kind of missing the whole, that it's red down here. So you miss a whole part of the bottom ship that has a different color. But I decided I did not want to redo that part. So this is how it is for now. And this is how it looks for now. So this weird contraption I put together here is kind of meant as, you know, the pulley for the anchor, which is also here on the side of the ship. And otherwise, there's just a ton of containers. Also, there's the bridge. We can actually just go through it. There's not any furnishing or anything in here yet. So this is basically that's like a storage room here. I guess I may remove the windows again. But basically you can go up in two directions here, and this just leads out to this like balcony thing here, overlooking the containers out here, and allows us to go in here and go up further. And here we are, actually there's another balcony we can go out on here, and we can just jump in here as well and have a look. And then we can go up here. And this is the bridge. So I haven't really decorated it yet. I still need to do that. But for now, I wanted to finish like the big chunks of the work. Although decorating can also be like a lot of work. For now, it's more like the bulk of the work. So let's quickly go out again. Maybe we can just, where did I put it? Right there. Pop out here. I'm low on rockets. And let's just land somewhere we can have a look at it. Okay, so this is the ship. I actually at some point started removing some of the containers because I sort of decided that I didn't want containers with all these logos on it because, you know, realistically seen, you don't really have all these logos and containers. There's a few containers with logos and maybe some text on it. And after I did that, I kind of had I had a lot of, you know, basically just boxes of colors, and I didn't like that, so I kind of reverted and went back to having these containers here. So although they are not entirely realistic with all these different kinds of logos and stuff, it looks better, at least in my opinion. Maybe, I don't know, it doesn't really look that realistic, and I probably also put the containers too big, too far away from each other, because usually they'll actually be crammed in, because a container ship is just crammed with containers. I actually spent some time looking into container ships and watched the documentary about it. I was even surprised to know that they actually have a ton of containers below deck as well. Like they have these big plates in the ship that they remove and put the containers down, put the plates on top, and then have even more containers up here. We're not gonna check out the hold right now because there's nothing down there, so nothing interesting to see. We'll also do that at a later time, and I guess I may just pop in a lot of containers down there as well. Also, there's like a small little room here. Again, nothing in there really. Just felt like having to use that for something, so maybe I'll put in some living quarters or whatever, we'll see. Okay, so that was the boat. Then we have the crane. Now this is actually, although a crane is, I guess, somewhat simple, I'm quite proud of this. So for the boat, I did look up some tutorials and let myself be guided a bit by those, but in the end, this is my own design. So I'm quite proud of that. And the same goes for the crane. I also looked into a lot of guides, but I did not follow any guides at all. Here I followed a guide for a few parts of the boat. Here I did not. This is my totally own design. I probably got inspired from watching screenshots or whatever somewhere, so maybe some parts may be similar to others, but this is definitely my totally own design. So let's just see if we can get up there with my last rocket, otherwise I'll have to cut and paste and I'll be back with more rockets. Let's see if we can land here. I could not. Oh, we can just take the long way. So I built this small ladder here that you can go up, and kind of encased it with iron bars, like every second block, so it didn't look too crazy. And then you can get all the way up here to the small control house here. Again, I did not do a lot of furnishing. I put a button and track here, apparently. I think I just wanted to empty my inventory. But I'll probably pop in like a lever or some bits and bobs that can control this thing. I tried to give the like an almost 360 view, not really though, but so the operator are able to see a lot. I guess this is a bit Minecrafty, so it's hard to look over the edge here, but yeah. This is where you control the crane basically. And I got to do a lot of these grindstones and chains and rods and iron bars just to fill out yeah, basically the technical parts or the mechanical parts. And I love doing that. So I actually think that I built something that looks at least a bit realistic, because there's like this whole chain thing that can pull the crane, and I guess the only thing that is missing, and I may or may not add that at some point, is like these cranes can actually also, move upwards to like in a 45-degree or maybe even higher. And I don't really have any, mechanical parts that could indicate that. So maybe I will need to add like a bit more, some pulley thing up here or whatever. I'm not really sure that yet. But we'll see. But I actually enjoyed like really much doing this, just popping in these small details here and there. And yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys think actually. I guess close up, some of this stuff may look weird, but I think from a distance this looks really good. So let's fly over here, because this is where the next thing we'll be building is. Yeah, so basically this crane can pick up containers, put them in, and then the idea is that trucks will go. Oh no, I could use a rocket more. I should have flown over here. Okay. The idea is that the crane can pick up containers, pull them in, and put them down on trucks, or the other way around, of course. And as you can see here, I actually made some tracks that these wheels then go into, and then this can basically just go back and forth on these tracks here. So also notice that maybe I need to update the road a bit. I widened it to fit with this crane, so maybe I need some more lines to widen up the road even more. Maybe I just remove these. I'm not really sure yet. But my thought was that big trucks come here and unload or get loaded, and then move away again. Anyways, let's continue to the next project. We need yet another crane, and in this case we need one. So this one is used to load the ships. That's why it has this whole pointy thing here. I also want at least one crane that can kind of move containers around. So let's just pop up a picture in the corner here where you can see which kind of crane I'm thinking about. These are basically, they can move around, they'll drive around, and I guess some of them even have like multi-directional capabilities, so they're not really stuck in like a rail. And I was planning to build it here. I also expanded this area a bit to kind of fit. So there'll be like a crane here. I'll start building it soon. I'll hopefully be able to do a time lapse of that as well. And then we have something that can move the containers around well. So here we have the red crane in all its glory. And as you can see, it's somewhat smaller than the big yellow one we made over there. But that is on purpose, because this is supposed to be mobile, and well, the other one over there is also mobile, but only on the rails, right on one axis. While this one can move about more freely, at least that's the idea. So let's just have a look from over here as well. I'm quite happy with it, and as with the other one there, I tried to add some realism to it. So let's just land here and have a look at it. So basically, let's start from the top, right? So we have the control tower over there. That's the control room. That's basically where you'll be sitting and controlling the crane. So the crane can then move. These pull system here can then move the crane back and forth. If you see these 3 bars here, that they can basically move in this direction and that direction. And then there's this thing here that kind of holds the grabber. We'll have a look at that in a moment, which can basically move on this axis here, right? So we have full movement on this axis and on this axis here. So if we then go a bit down here and have a look, let's go a bit further down. So this is then the grabber, right? So it fits with that there can be a container in here that it can grab, and then it can be lowered and raised up and down, so it can basically pick up and stack containers. So I think this is great. I really like it. Let me just get rid of that guy there, because that I don't really like. And as with the other one, we can maybe just take a quick trip up here as well. I also made like a ladder leading up to the control tower, and in this case you go through this hatch that is missing still, so I need to put in a hatch here at some point, and then you're basically here in the control room. And don't mind this banner here. As in the other room, I needed to get something out of my inventory, and I just put that there. Actually, it fit in a bit better before, because the first version of this control room here was actually gray, from gray concrete, so it kind of fit with that. But I decided to go for white instead, because it looked out of place, making it gray. So what I also did in the meantime was to smack my head into these. Let me just get some health back, because otherwise we'll have an accident soon. So what I did was I also made some of these trailers here. Let me just get a bit of view real quick. So these are basically container trailers, right? So they are designed to more or less fit the containers that I build. So this design is based off some design I saw online. If I remember it, I'll try to put a link to that in the description. But in the end, I did my own take on it. I tend to do that with everything. If I watch a guide showing how to do something, I get inspired from that, but I really prefer to do things in my own way. I think it's fair to get inspiration from other people and learn from them, but in the end, I do prefer to at least put my own touch on it. Yeah, so I made 3 of these here, and also I made this truck here. Again, I was inspired from a video I saw online. I added a bit more detailing to this, especially here on the back, and made some different choices with a few material. But one thing that I'm quite proud of that I came up with, actually by accident, is these headlights here. So my idea in the beginning was to put a picture frame in and then put like a yellow block here. I think I used a gold block. And then I thought maybe I should try with these glow frames here. And then I put them in. And then when I was looking like it, this actually looks a lot like, you know, when you see headlights, especially in the dark, head on. Like this this bloom effect, or what you call it, the glow effect here. So I think that is really great. And then down here at the other end, I then combine the truck and the trailer, so we have a truck with a trailer attached to it. And if we fly up here to my new favorite position, overlooking the entire port, we can then see there's a small, I guess, story forming here now. I think I still need to add at least one more truck that probably has or is about to have either or a container loaded onto it. I like when the whole area kind of tells a story by itself. So I think adding that will kind of like, put the cherry on top. Also, I still need to add more things here, but as you might remember, I wanted to submit this whole thing for this Reddit competition, which I did. And what you're seeing here is exactly what I submitted. And as you maybe can see in the background there, I did a few changes to the roads as well, and actually expanded a bit over here as well to make room for the crane. And I probably could have added a bit more, but I was almost out of time and also materials, and I figured that getting the few materials I was missing to build yet another truck would have led me to be almost out of time. So instead I took some screenshots and did a small video and submitted that. I realized this morning, though, while looking at it again, that I think the pictures I did weren't that great, but I hope the video will kind of make up for that. So I can leave a link down in the description to the submission page and also maybe to the video I did. It's here on YouTube, but it's unlisted. It's basically just me doing a flyover, a silent flyover of the whole thing. But I'll leave a link in the description down below, and if you want to see it, you can have a look. So yeah, basically I think that is it. I am very, very, very happy with the progress we made. As you know, if you have seen a lot of my videos, I am my own worst critic, and usually I'm like, this could be better and that could be better, but for these things here I'm actually quite happy and satisfied. I put a lot of effort into it and I think I got away pretty good. So I am very curious to see or hear what you have to say about this, so any input, good or bad, is very appreciated. So I guess this was it for this episode. Once again, this was quite a long one, at least for recording and building and all that jazz. But I am extremely satisfied with our progress. And I'm slightly sorry that the video is coming out a bit later than usual, but I wanted to make as much as possible and like get this video just right, at least the progress for it. So for the next video, I am not entirely sure what we are gonna do then. Either we'll do a bit more on this port here, or maybe I have another idea for what we will be doing up there behind us in Project Vegas. It is sadly not loaded in right now, so we cannot really see it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and do remember to leave like a like somewhere down over here, or even a dislike, but at least then let me know why. If you have any comments, anything at all, some positive, some negative, some input on what we did here, even ideas would be very, very much appreciated. Also, I'm pretty sure there's a subscribe button down there. If it says subscribe, you should click it. And also maybe click the bell over here. And if the button says subscribed, you are an awesome person. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. And you'll see me in the next video. Bye!